Good morning. Good morning. And I wish to warn you that we have some improvements going on in the building, and periodically it sounds like somebody thinks that my apartment is the vault of England, and there's a drill, and so you may not hear it, but if I come across as a little less, can you hear it now? It's doing no, now it's. If I come across a little less focused than I normally am, they're doing it. And they're only doing it for July. Cheers. All right. I have a bone to pick. I was going to say a nose to grind, but that's a different thing. See, I'm just. All right. What is it that I have to do? Oh, yes. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back. Here's me clicking. Okay. And I just said good morning when, of course, it's not good morning everywhere. It's only good morning-ish here. And there we are. So an interesting thing happened. And before I get into the interesting thing that happened, I want to give a shout out to my LinkedIn a lot bears. My LinkedIn a lot bears. I'm this guy. We have to have a voice for the LinkedIn a lot bears. They should sound very businesslike, right? They should sound in their little suits and ties. That's why I'm all dressed in business today, sort of. So I posted on LinkedIn a short while ago that I'm open for business. I've got a couple of things going on that I'm just over the moon thrilled about. Of course, Pivotry in motion. Of course, the Lion effect. Of course. Good morning, Rob. How are you? We have to talk about Rob in a second. Pivotry in motion, the Lion effect, and the name, the rename of our grassroots show up at people's weekly, monthly events to kind of horn in and be part of. And I'm calling it That's Better Rehab. You like it? That's better. Because sometimes the world is just far too much with us. Am I right? I think so. So I want to do this right off the top while it's still important and fresh. Rob and I did a podcast chat the other day that was absolutely delicious, delightful. We talked about stuff. We talked about fame. We talked about the show. We talked about, the reason that he first found me on Facebook, first decided to connect. But something happened along the way, apparently, and it happened to Rhea as well. It happened to Maggie. It happened to Sue. It happened certainly to Eddie, Freddie, all of the gang, Marnie, and all of the rest of you, was that you suddenly realized that you weren't watching Mom. I mean, you are, she's there, but there was something else going on. And what happened over time is you recognized that the only way I could have found myself standing in front of Roger Price, who produced You Can't Live on Television, was if I had more tenacity and more I'm walking here and more I'm not done yet than any 50 people put together. It didn't really matter how I acquired that, what it was that I jumped through to see, I want to write this down. Yeah. Hold this thought. Hoop storage for the hoops we jump through. I think it's a trending moment in a minute. It requires not merely good morning, Maggie. Stopping by to say hello on your way to training. My company is hosting you. Oh, okay. You're on your way to training. Oh, you're you're not driving with Claude, I hope. So good luck. Good luck. Go with the blessings of the universe. We all find ourselves in places we didn't expect. We all say to ourselves, no, or wait, what? Or check, please. We've all been there, done that, took the shirt back because it made us look fat. And what happens with that moment typically is nothing. Typically we say, well, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? People are going to be people. And that is the sound of people not policing their boundaries. It is a a go along to get along, and we all go along to get along. We're not hermits. We're not islands in the stream. We are in connection. We are collaborating. We are communicating. And there is a fair amount of compromise that goes along with that, because you know what? Caves are small. And if there's going to be room for all of us, it's like an elevator. You don't get to spread out and put out your picnic. You got to kind of do the thing. Okay. However, it is one thing to be accommodating. It is one thing to say, show me the hoops through which I must jump. It is another for people to say, oh my God, I love that. I've never seen that before. Okay, I have changes. I have notes. And then they proceed to tell you that every single thing they praised is kind of, well, it's a little out there, don't you think? I mean, it's not really, it's not really what people like us do, is it? And that's when you pick up and then put down the hardbound dictionary thesaurus and say, you don't know the meaning of the word proprietary, do you? Well, gosh, no, I don't. It means original, mine. The reason I'm not like everybody else is because I'm original. It's because I'm different. It's because it worked, so I kept doing it. Am I compromising as best I can? Am I fitting in as best I can? Does this look like business attire? I hope so. It's a tie, it's a white shirt. And it's understandable that what people want is something that feels safe. It's understandable. It's primitive survival. It isn't understandable that the more you adapt and adjust to help them feel safe, the more changes they bring, because that also is natural. It's called territorial imperative. And where we must come together, all of us, to make it work, all of us, is to choose what the point of the exercise is, right? So today, when I decided to, last night, by the way, those people who can get by on 4 hours sleep? I'm not one of them. Gosh, yep, sleep. Getting there. So the topic today is form or substance. And what we're looking for is door number 3. What we're looking for is the best of all possible worlds. In the previous life in which I did stand-up comedy for about 15 minutes, I did a whole thing at one point on losing weight. And I said what I was looking for was a lot better form and a lot less substance. And you know how many people laughed harder at that than was normal? All of them. And so I thought, the thing today, the conversation today is form or substance. And because form is so easily spelled quietly, conform. The con is silent, but it's there, and we know it. And this is where I want to take us today. I love you, you're perfect, I have changes, is the way people end up in divorce court. It's the way people quit jobs. It's the way people pack their bags and leave countries. Because we're not comfortable being surrounded by things that feel different. Again, it's ancient primal survival. Fact is, change is a constant. Everything, every day, all the time is changing. Every change creates a new wrinkle. Every change causes us to have to navigate a new way to and from our house. Every change gives us an opportunity to step up or step down. And we don't feel good, comfortable, easy, normal when those things are imposed on us. So one of the things that happened the other day that was hilarious, it was the funniest thing in a very long time. And I'm not going to name any names, but you're going to love it. It goes like this. Oh my God, I love your podcasts. Listen, I'm a bit of an artist, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get you a look for your podcasts, and I think you're going to love it in due time. And I said, oh my gosh, I have no words, because that's the safest answer when I'm involved in the conversation. And so time passed, and all of a sudden there it was. And I got to tell you, they were right. It's perfect. It's gorgeous. I love it. So I'm using it. Yeah, until I got a message. And the message was, could you maybe not use it every time because it's kind of getting, a bit much? I'm looking at this comment and I thought, yeah, that's why Tide changes their color scheme every week, because the old orange thing that allowed us all to find it was getting a bit much. So in that helpful way I didn't say that. I'm looking at it thinking, one of us is on the wrong bus. Probably it's me. So here's what I did. I said, no problem. And the funny thing was, then I got a whole bunch of justifications for the critique, right? I said, no problem. No problem. No problem. I posted the other day that gobsmacked mom look, that one? Yeah. I posted it the other day. And you know what's hilarious? Here's what's hilarious. We're coming up to 5,000 people who've clicked on it and liked it. They don't necessarily say anything, but they like it. And I said, following the growing number, can I read a room or what? Because, what? Wait, what? Hello? Anybody home? Probably not. I'll leave a note. And so we have options. We always have options. We could stay home. We could stay under the bed. We could phone it in. Good morning. Oh, Rob is saying good morning, Freddie. Good morning, Freddie. I still can't see your things. My understanding, Billy was saying that he gave you a solution, but it's not working. And since I can see everybody else's comments, we don't think it's on my end. However, it's technology. Who knew? Who knows? Anyway, as long as I have my translators and my interpreters, we're good. And then afterwards, when I finish the recording and I go and I respond to the comments, I see them all. So it's not like I don't know you're there. So the conversation about form and substance today, I just have this weird thing. It's kind of tickling my eyebrow and it makes me nuts. Form and substance is one of those things that we don't talk about, but it is what we are talking about all the time. Formula, format, conform, inform. These are all other words that talk about the process, that talk about the presentation, that talk about familiarity and therefore comfort. Where we then move into substance is that comfort isn't enough. What we also have to be able to do is elicit curiosity. We have to be voices and faces and intentions above the noise, above the crowd. You know, somebody said to me the other day, well, I can see you a mile coming. And I said, I know, right? It saves renting billboards. Because I'm a public figure. Has anybody seen Abby? I'm right here. Oh my God, I never see you. You got to be more colorful. Has never happened. And I'd like to thank all the little people because we're here for a short time. I don't really want to stand around waiting for people to say, is Abby? Oh, there you are. For heaven's sake. I want people to say, there's Abby. Why? Timing, it's a secret to everything. So how are we going to do this form substance dance? Well, I have a couple of things, a couple of ideas, a couple of story-ish things, and some tools. The first thing is this. Most of the trouble that we trip, stumble, fall into falls under my all-time favorite category, which is the Department of Unintended Outcomes. We had an idea. We said, what could go wrong? And then immediately, what we didn't do was check. We said, they're going to love it. Mm-hmm. We didn't check. And that is how we learned what could go wrong. And when we see things like that happen and you think, how did they even think that was going to, and then never mind, doesn't matter how they thought it. They thought it and they said, why plan? Let's just go for it. Yep. And so that's the Department of Unintended Outcomes. And I think somehow in a previous life, I must have worked there because it resonates. And then this morning when I was getting ready, this popped into my head and I laughed really hard because I want you to think about it. Rob, I want you to tell me what you think. Does anybody remember, it's decades ago, there was a song that went, there she was just walking down the street singing do-wah, diddy-diddy-dum, diddy-do, snapping her things and something her feet, do-wah, diddy-diddy-dum, diddy-do. Yeah, no, it's Department of Unintended Outcomes. It's duo, diddy-diddy-dum, diddy-do. Do-oh, diddy-diddy-dum, diddy-do. And so it's a duo moment. These people are having a duo moment. And what should have happened immediately was an intervention. Good morning, Charles. Good morning. How's Kat? How are you? My goodness, the things you guys are going through. Holy cow. I'm talking, Charles, about the Department of Unintended Outcomes. And I know that given the place where you work, you see people bringing that to life every day, which is why you occasionally need a getaway. So the Department of Unintended Outcomes is the place where people leap before they look. People say to themselves, what could possibly, what's the worst that can? And then don't look and answer those questions. They just say, and then afterwards they're doing the mom look. So I think we owe it to ourselves and to the people around us who should not be allowed to carry sharp objects or operate machinery to kind of guide them to a safe space so they don't hurt themselves and others. We need to talk about the pitfalls of form and substance. We need to, what was the other thing that I wrote down? Oh yes. I saw a picture, I was looking for a hoop image because of the hoops people keep asking me to jump through. And the image that I found was hoop storage. And it was a thing for hula hoops. And I thought, there, that's what we need. I need hoop storage where I can put everybody's helpful hoops. And I don't know if I need to, protect that or register that, but I think hoop storage is just going to be another one of those code words just between us. And so back to the beginning, back to my beautiful, wonderful, keen LinkedIn love-a-lot bears who are shooting the algorithm through the roof. It is the most remarkable thing. You guys at LinkedIn, you haven't reached Facebook momentum, and YouTube, you're a little late behind. But we're all here, and we're all a team, and it's all a village. I want to say this: the strategy that works is the one that you consistently apply. Tweak it, adjust it, change it. Listen to helpful comments. Listen to collaborative ideas. Brainstorming, many brains are better than one. All brains need to qualify. However, the collaborative idea, the group think, this is all part of, I'm calling it team themed. Team themed concepts is this: I'm on my side, you're in your worlds, and we are, you remember the song? We are together brainstorming our take on what is going right, what is going wrong, and where our door number 3 needs to be. So for those of you who didn't know, Rob had a very significant injury, and it changed the trajectory of everything for him. And what he has done is he has said, come with me, trajectory. And he has placed it under his arm, and he has worked it into his daily life. He has brain rewired podcasts. He does short reels. He is a presence on social media. And his target audience is only 2 groups of people: anyone with a significant brain rewire issue, and everyone else. Everyone has a brain rewire issue. Some of them are triggered by incidents and accidents. Some of them we're born with and carry around with us like flags. And some of them are the product of not paying attention and developing unconscious patterns that are unhelpful, that do not serve our bigger purpose. What Rob deals with comes from the place of physical event leading to compensating outcome. Where I come from is emotional, toxic, strategic, wait, what events triggering unhelpful outcomes. We both end up at the same place. And so our conversation was incredible. Of course, we talked about mom, we talked about the Care Bears, we talked about the shoes, talked about all of the good, fun, fame-worthy silliness. Because these colorful things are the rest stops on the highway for the serious stuff. They are the places where we breathe. You know, when a wave hits the beach, it goes whoosh, and there's a moment, just a pause, and then it recedes. It doesn't go away. It doesn't say, I quit. That's it. We're done. I divorce thee. No, it goes away to get more energy to come back and do it again. When it goes back into the ocean, there's another pause, and then it moments again and reaches its peak and heads to shore. It's in those pauses. It's in those quiet pause in the breath where we find door number 3, where we find our sense of equilibrium, of balance, of comfort. The thing about comfort is too much of us makes us lazy. It makes us bored. It leaves us restless. It's lovely at first. And then all of a sudden, it's not. Okay, are you really Rhea, good morning. Good morning. Give Kat a hug for me, Charles. Drive safe. So, what we're talking about this morning, Rhea, is form and substance. And I was telling everyone that when I did stand up many years ago, one time I was talking about diets, and I think you'll like this because we were having those conversations the other day. I said in my thing on my riff on diets, I said what I'm looking for basically is a lot better form and a lot less substance. And the entire audience had a moment. They had a moment like they lost it. They lost it because everybody wants that, right? So, however, what has happened recently is that in transitioning from the brand that people came to know. Hello, Valerie. Hello, Care Bear. How I did it, how I am doing it gradually is a little bit by a little bit, creating these ABCASTs so that the world could get to know all the flavors of Abby, not just the part of me that channeled that special sauce of silliness to be mom, not just the part of me that found personalities of tiny people who thought they were big and who just wanted to do their very best, but I think I'm stuck. And all the other characters and creatures and all the other ideas that I had, all the other stuff over the years, just like the rest of us. The difference is that I made it my career. And now, after COVID, during COVID, it occurred to me there was an opportunity to blend them. It occurred to me that there was a way to give people the key to their door number 3, to get their own permission to choose who they want to be, to say, why am I still carrying that? I haven't used that in years. If I put it down, I can carry something that I want to use. What a good idea. Here's a photograph of me dropping it. We all do that. So the conversation today about form and substance is this. We can conform. Sometimes we must. We can inform. Oftentimes we will. What we want to do is reform expectations. We want to realize our potential. We want to bring people with us through this learning curve. Wasn't that a great, my gosh, Rhea, was that not a great visit? We had such a good time. We were talking about it for hours afterwards. The idea that we can reform is not meant to be, turn over a new leaf and, do better. No. It's reform, reformat, reshape, reconfigure the concept to make it work for us now, as opposed to, back in our day. Yeah, but that was not my day. And by the way, it isn't anyone's day today. So the form we're looking for is a complicated idea. Your mom loved it too. She was great. Your mom's great. Your mom's a riot. Rhea and her mom got together with Gary and I the other day to talk about our concept called, well, that's better, rehab. And she was telling me all the jobs she's had. So she has had 46 more than I have, I think. And one of the ones that she has done brilliantly, and certainly I am not worthy, is she's driven school buses. Dear God in heaven. I took school bus training, and they told me that I was not allowed to. Give me back the keys. Thank you. Bye-bye. What? Okay. Like you said, park it anywhere. Did that just terrify you? It should. So form, when they say, you know, I love your format. We don't do it that way. And I think that if you want to succeed, what you really need to do is kind of get a sense of where the industry is right now. And I said, well, I'll tell you where the industry is right now. It's screwed because you're doing it wrong. Okay, your mother can still remember the name of every daycare child. Okay, that's a problem. We can get her thinking of other things that will better serve her. 40 years. My God. And she can still say something positive of each of, oh, listen, I can say something positive of every child I worked with. I'm not working with them now. Gosh, that was fun. Oh dear. So back to my point here. My point is I'm all over the map because I have 4 hours sleep. And I'm not touching any machinery. Rhea, you say it's trauma. The question is, what is the source of the trauma? And don't go pick up your mirror. So the whole idea with form and conform and not scare the living daylights out of people before you get them in the boat is called timing. It is not called change who I am. It's called timing. Find out what they want. Find out who they are. Find out why they're here. Find out what they believe they're looking for. And then shape what you bring to give them the opportunity to get excited. Packaging. When the people say, well, we love that it's new. No, you don't. Because you wouldn't say it like that. You would be in the boat saying, when are we leaving? We love that it's new. What was her name? What was her name? The character's name? Now, so we love that it's new. We just, well, I guess what we'd like is a little more tradition. Yeah, the tradition isn't working. That's why you need something new. That's why people invent things, because the old thing isn't working. So here's my problem. This is not why I'm bitter. What? You bitter? I'm looking for the path of collaboration. When I was invited, encouraged, paid to teach university classes in communications, and when I was invited, encouraged, paid to teach graduating students in broadcast colleges, my subject was this exact topic: connect, engage, transform. What I didn't realize at the time, and has become clearer with age, is that it's not connect, engage, transform. There's another layer. And the other layer goes like this once you add it. Connect, translate, engage, transform. The world has become a busier place. The world has become a 24/7 without borders place. In that transformation, it has not occurred to us that we are now expected to automatically understand, get along, interact with people who speak different actual languages and bring to those different languages the definitions and the meanings and the popular usage based on their very different circumstances. We forget that. It's one of the reasons I started during COVID saying to people, instead of, how are you? And from behind a mask, clearly the answer is there. And the answer was always, fine, and you, which isn't a conversation. It's automatic pilot. So I started to say, on a scale of 1 to 10, how's the day going? And they had to evaluate. Gary's hilarious. He said the first time I asked him, he's sitting there thinking, I can't tell her it's a 3. That just sounds, I can't tell her it's a 3. So what I'm going to tell her it's a 7. Feel better about a 6, but I'm going to say 7, and that way she won't think I'm a loser. I said, what? You went through all that? He said, oh yeah. It's first meeting, first impressions. It was a 3? Oh yeah. In its good moments that day, it was a 3. So this is why I go there. This is, right? This is why I go there. This is why I go for tangible words instead of soft words. This is why I go for clarity instead of chaos. Because it takes such a long time to clean up the broken bits and try and get the blood out of the rug. When somebody says, I love your substance, can you deliver it differently? Sure. It won't be the same substance. Oh, well, it's not that we want you to change. What is her name? Is it change? It's not that we want you to change. We'd like a little more familiarity. Okay. So I was invited by half a dozen recruiters on LinkedIn. Once I said, all right, I'm available. Let's do this. Several recruiters reached out and said, hello, would you like to sell this? Would you like to provide that? Would you like to deliver this? I said, no, I said what I'm available to do. I said what my expertise is. You're watching my videos. That's what I do. Oh, okay. So, well, I think it'd be great. There's a lot of people who could really use it. Could you submit a resume? So I did. And the next conversation was, oh my God, this is an incredible body of work. How have you done this? This is incredible. And I said, well, thank you. Okay, so, but now here's the thing. I mean, it's fabulous. There's nothing that I would change, not a thing. There's nothing I would change. It's the employers, it's HR, it's the process, it's the industry. What we're dealing with here are norms, industry norms. I said, you mean like cheers? Norm. No. What they mean is conform, comma, norm. Do that whole new thing, only just do it like it's everything else that people already have. They said, I don't actually understand what it is that you do. And I said, it's in the top line. Right, but it doesn't, I don't know, it just doesn't resonate. And I said, oh, I see. So which part of strategic was a hurdle for you? Well, there's nothing, I answered, God knows I understand strategic and strategies. Yeah. Which part of strategic excellence concerns you? Well, it just sounds a bit, I don't know, planned. That's right, boys and girls, we're planning our outcome. We're not just running at the cliff. We're looking to see if we brought the parachute. Strategic excellence is excellence. Pointed, focused, targeted, elite level. This one, laser, sharp, high functioning, not diffuse, not this is excellent. No. This thing here, right here, Shazam. That's strategic excellence. Why do we need it? Because we need more than ever the ability to recognize cause and effect outcomes. If I hit you, you will suffer. That's cause and effect. If I'm early, I'll be readier than if I'm late. Cause and effect. All of these scenarios are things that are slipping through our fingers because we are overwhelmed. Our brains are overwhelmed. We have got too much going on all the time. And our brain doesn't know that it's not our job to pick every single one of them up, put a name on it, and file it away someplace. It's not our job. We have not yet learned how to say, okay, this is a 50-gallon tank. That is 150 gallons. Something's got to give. And no one is saying it. No one is doing it. No one is frantically saying, you must stop. Everyone is eagerly, compulsively, anxiously rushing around trying to fit 150 into 50 in order to please, in order to comply, in order to belong. Also, not a bad thing under the heading of survival, but not to the extent that we compromise who we are. So my issue, hilariously, has been people telling me, it's amazing here. And then right after, they've said, here. And I have responded, they've said, well, that's a lot, isn't it? Okay, but you just said do it. I'm doing it. Okay. So then what happens with people who made a suggestion, saw what happened when you followed it, is that they try to come up with an antidote to the venom, a fix, a Band-Aid, something to make it better. But they don't have that answer. So they guess. They suggest. They fling things into the wind, not realizing the time and the work and the passion and the skill you put into the original. They fling ideas out there. I don't know. I just like to fling things out there and see what happens. What happens is I have to go and get a vacuum because there's things flung all over the floor now. Well, you don't need to be that way about it. Yeah, I do. Yes, I do. And here's why, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. We are giving away our ownership. We are the new trending word for ownership is agency. I'm not sure why. Agency. We are giving away our ownership. And we are giving it away eagerly, willingly. We are racing each other to see who can give it away sooner, more often, more completely. Duo, diddy, dum, diddy do. They are not realizing that once you give it away, like that, it's a lot of work to get it back. If people work hard to achieve an outcome, and someone says, well, you don't really need all of that, do you? Yes, that's why I do it. Oh, and what do you do with passion and purpose? Well, I don't know. I really just live, I just live. Mm-hmm. So nothing, then, is what you're saying. So do I sound kvetchy this morning? Well, first of all, the drilling, right? First of all, 4 hours sleep. Second, the drilling. Third, helpful people. So we need to just know everything about you. So I told him everything about me. He said, oh my God, that's a lot. Can you pare it back? So what do you want me to leave out? Well, I don't know, but we only want 2 pages. Okay. So I'll just say, under different headings, the category, stuff. Well, no, we like the details. Just can you? So 4 o'clock in the morning, I just said, all right, that's it. We're done. I'm going to bed. I'm going to be swell first thing. I worked in a restaurant a few times. I preferred to be a bartender because, first of all, there's a thing between you and them. but hospitality being what it is, it's a brilliant learning curve, and you get paid to navigate it, right? I laughed hard at one of the servers who said, "Oh, is that the new schedule?" And I said, "Yeah." And she said, where are we?" And I said, "Actually, you and I have the same shifts. We're working thing, and thing." And she said, "Oh God, I don't want to know when I'm working. I want to know when I'm off." And at the time I thought, this, but now later I'm thinking I can sort of see. Sounds good to say head cashier and customer service rep. Really? Nobody needs to know how the customer was served. Yeah. With alacrity, with compassion, with speed, with indifference, with intent. The idea today, we've had our collective country birthdays. We are in our collective country's birthday month, and every day in this birthday month is an opportunity to celebrate a recognition of something, a turning point moment, an opportunity to say this way or that, instead of go along to get along. Pivotry in motion, this whole umbrella thing that I've been working on since, almost 7 years now, is this. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. Excuse me. It's not good enough. And that pause, breath intake before excuse me, is the silent, wait, what? It is the recognition that we have changed already without realizing it. And that what we were willing to do has run its course. Other people may not be there yet. We are definitely there. And we are ready for something else. And in that Milo moment, Milo is an early growing seed. It's very hardy, resists all kinds of stuff. And in our germinating moment, in our recognition that something has become, it wasn't and now it is, something has become, we can't unknow it. We are aware of its presence, of its existence. We are no longer who we were exclusively. We have taken on who we are. And the combination of who we were and who we are is leading us to where we're going. When people want us to conform, it's because they're not ready. And we make them feel less than comfortable, less than safe, less than confident, because we represent a level of change, a degree of change that they are not prepared for. So when people complain, when people want to contain and organize who we are and what we do and what we bring, it's not really for the best outcome. It's for the safest path for them. They can feel confident in saying, yes, Bob, I was talking to somebody fairly impressive, and well, I took the liberty of asking them to submit a concept, and I've brought it to you. That takes a lot of guts, because Bob is busy. Bob is having a day, and Bob is now ready to look for somebody to blame. And if what you present Bob isn't what Bob says, hey, this is great, then it's all on you. So there's a great deal of confidence and audacity, because it's a referral and their name is all over it. So kudos to people who say, I represent. How they represent and how they guide, how we represent and how we guide the people we train, we support, we serve, we enable, is a tough job, because it's not all about us. It doesn't get to be all about our version of them. If we want our version of them, we should do it. Yeah, I know I gave you ideas, and I know I told you I thought it was really good, but I didn't think you were going to do it. Duo, diddy, dumb, diddy do. Hello, I don't believe we've met. You said, here's an idea. It didn't occur to you that I might like it and run with it? Okay then, Bob. Where we are in this complicated world is overwhelmed. Where we are is exhausted. Where we are is realizing that there simply are not enough cool linoleum floor tiles in the kitchen to lie face down on for a minute. We are done. And we don't get to stay home. We got to show up. We not only have to show up, we have to stand up. We have to lean in productively, even though we're done. So how do we undo the gun? How do we reverse that outcome? Can you hear the drilling? I can hear the drilling. Me, not so much. So, speaking of done, how do we reverse it? I'm going to tell you. I'm going to give you the hack, and I think you're going to love it, because it's so cool and so simple. Do you, Rob? Oh my gosh. I have to tell you where that came from. You're absolutely right. That's hilarious. That is hilarious, because there is an absolute connect there. So Your brain does many things simultaneously. In its different compartments, the back of the brain, the primitive brain, the subconscious, the emotional brain, the survival brain, does 95% of the stuff. 95%. It does not do anything simultaneously. There is no such thing as multitasking. It's a made-up word by somebody who was born at the Department of Unintended Outcomes, I think. It is rapid sequence tasking. What people don't realize is that it literally takes the brain 20 seconds to disconnect from the current thing, clear, and connect to the new thing. 20 seconds. So the first 5 suck because they're not fully engaged. And when they are interrupted again, it takes another full 20 seconds to disengage and then connect to the new one. If you are interrupted 3 times, you have used up a minute because you started with 20. You have used up a minute of standing there while your brain goes, wait, what? You've used up a minute. It doesn't say a minute, Abby, there's 24 hours in a day. Yeah. And the number of times you're interrupted 4 times diminishes your ability to focus on the things once you get there, because your brain is still going, what, so where was I? Walking in a room, stand there. Why am I here? What did I come in for? Oh, that's right. It's happening more often. We used to have 30-second commercials. We now have 3-minute commercial blocks in which they shove as many commercials as they possibly can to get the advertising dollar. You know what the problem is? You can remember the first commercial and you can remember the last commercial, and every commercial in the middle is tuna casserole, because you can't retain all that stuff in rapid fire sequence. Does the producer care? No. Does the advertiser care? No. Do the people watching care? Yeah, they shut it off. That's why people stop watching commercial television. That's why the streaming services have to plop the commercials in order to pay for what they're doing. That's why if you don't want to see the commercials, you pay a premium price to ignore them. Because on the one hand, the advertiser wants their product seen, and on the other hand, we don't. Well, we want to know, but we don't want to know right now. I want to know if the guy falls off the cliff, for heaven's sake. Could you not have? So what we've got going on today, what I'm going to show you how the brain shifts is this. If I'm going to write something down, and I pick up my weapon of mass destruction, and I pick up my later folder to put in my later folder the thing that just annoyed me, so I don't carry it around with me all day, get it out of my head and onto the page. What I am doing is I am not only drawing a line that allows me to be free to experience new things, but I am releasing my brain from focusing on what that was. How does that work? What is it that I'm doing that releases it? I'm changing platforms. I'm changing vehicles. If I'm thinking about road rage, It's in here. I'm thinking about it. It's just in there, swirling around, infecting everything around it. I pick up my weapon of mass construction and I literally write the words road rage. I am taking those words out of my head. I am taking them away from my survivor brain, and I am putting them at arm's length from me, where I can see them as opposed to feel them. And then once I have written those words, I draw a line under it, which indicates a separation from what came before. And then I close the later folder and I pat it, because it doesn't mean I'm going to forget it. It means I'm going to deal with it later. And then I put this in a safe place with my cell phone, because I made these things to be the same size as the cell phone. So nobody can say to me, I have nowhere to put it. Where's your phone? Oh, it's in my. What have I done? What have I actually done that gives my brain permission to shift gears? I have moved it. I have taken it from the emotional memory repository. I have taken it outside of my head and outside of the anxiousness here. I have made it tangible. I have used writing rather than texting, because writing activates more brain cells, creating more patterns. And I am creating a pattern of ownership, agency, a pattern of ownership as opposed to a pattern of victim. I am no longer a victim of road rage. I am the owner of a solution in the moment, because in the moment is not when I'm going to deal with road rage. The solution in the moment is to store it somewhere else on a different platform using a different vehicle mechanism. And the minute you do it, the minute you draw the line, something shifts. You know what it is? You know what shifts? The cortisol, the hormone, the adrenaline, the hormone. It's not needed. The subconscious brain that triggers the release of cortisol, triggers the release of adrenaline. Fight, 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 flight, flight, flee, flee, hide, hide. It's not needed. It's not needed. And immediately, it zeroes back to, we got this. We're walking here. It's instant. And when you carry the later folder, when you empty your pockets or your purse at the end of the day, and you have your cell phone, your later folder, the pen that goes with it, and you say, I'm going to have a look at all these things that happened today. It's very interesting how few of them trigger you, because it worked. It worked. So what I have created, what we have, guys and gals, boys and girls, humans of all shapes and sizes, what we have is a brilliant blend of form and substance combined. It is the recipe for executive function. It is the recipe for strategic excellence. I want you to do something for me. I want you to promise to try it. And I want you to, if you can remember, oh, by the way, you can write it down. I want you, if you can remember, to let me know how it felt. I want you to let me know when you said, dear God, she's right. Oh my God, she's right. You switch platforms, you switch vehicles. Think about it in a just a completely everyday situation. If you're driving on a country road, it's one kind of experience. If you're driving in downtown rush hour traffic, it's another kind of experience. Those are different platforms. They bring with them different issues and different assets. Both have value, both have problems. If you are driving an ancient but loved vehicle that has to strain itself to go uphill, or you are driving a fairly new, reliable, efficient vehicle, two completely different scenarios. Exponentially, older vehicle, familiar vehicle, country road is an experience. Older vehicle, comfortable vehicle, downtown rush hour traffic is an experience. New vehicle, country road, new vehicle, downtown. That's a lot of different experiences. And the switch from one to the other. You know, when you get in somebody else's car and you have to adjust the seat and the mirrors, while you're adjusting the seat and the mirrors, your brain is focused on getting yourself positioned. It's not focused on whether my shoes hurt. It's not focused on what that idiot said to me at the service counter. It's focused on, why is that not working with the mirror? You've shifted locations. You've shifted purpose. By the time you come back to, I'm gonna, it's gone. That feeling of victimhood is gone. Because you know what? I can see out the mirrors. We got this. How do I turn it on? So today, my lovelies, I said to myself this morning, you know what? I have an idea. I'm going to ask them. I'm going to give them the opportunity to think about form and substance, to think about what it is that irks us, that excites us when we have new ideas, when we just want things to be safe and we find ourselves out of step in the moment. Think about it. It's not you. It's the fact that we're not paying attention. What we're not paying attention to is our extraordinary capacity for strategic excellence. So with that, I'm back on Thursday. So I get to talk to you again before Rob's excellent adventure video podcast conversation with me on YouTube. So we can talk about that some more. I want to tell you that I'm going to be blathering on about That's Better Rehab a lot, because it's a fun, crazy, brilliant idea. It's grassroots reset and recovery. And Rhea and her mom, and Gary and I are working on looking for, here's the idea. We're going to hijack the annual meeting, the monthly meeting, the weekly meeting of the something. We're not going to sneak up on them. We're going to say, would you like us to come for this particular one and let us do our thing? Because the people are already there. They already know each other. They've already got a place to park. We don't need to have them go and find tickets and go and sit on hard seats and face the front. We'll go to them. So we're going to be talking about that. And the other thing I want to say is how grateful I am that you are all here, hopefully enjoying my venting, hopefully feeling, yeah, been there, done that, and hopefully telling your friends that this is a cool thing to do and a place to be. Gary is actually with Rob's help, Gary is figuring out how to navigate this editing platform so that we can get started on our Now What Wednesdays podcasts, interactive podcasts that are going to be happening soon. They're going to be in the evenings. I think we're talking about 7 p.m. on Wednesdays, Abbey, New York time. So there's lots that's coming. Last thing before I say goodbye, and I know it's long and I apologize. If you know someone who needs a session at That's Better Rahab, for heaven's sake, tell them about me. Have them contact me. Sit them down and you contact me. We'll get on a 3-way conversation. This is what I used to be, a mom. This is what I am, always have been. I'm the navigator storyteller, figuring out where to go and who to be. And I want you to do it with me. All right? So you know the drill. Be good to you. You deserve it. And remember to hug your loved ones because they deserve it too. All right? Stay cool, stay hydrated, stay out of crazy storms. Duck and roll when you see people who want to talk about your form and substance. And I will